event, download the Vivid Seats app or visit vividseats.com. SmackOff 25. All right, normally I'd cut of that break with some reaction, but I'm not going to waste any time because here it is. Here it is, a moment that so many of you have waited for 12 years. This is the first time since 2007 the all-time winningest SmackOff caller is on the line. And he's not here to play a cameo. He's not here to guest star. He is here looking for number 6. He walked off on a three-peat. Nobody can say that. Just like nobody can say they've got a SmackOff ring for every finger on one hand. This guy does. He is the only one with 5. The record holder, Sean, the Cablinasian, is back for the first time in 12 years. Shawnee, what's going on?
Jim, the 12-year head start that I gave to the rest of these clones, these callers, folks, it ends right now. Jim, I can't even begin to tell you how great it feels to be back in this thing, man. Last year, Carbone picks me up homeless off the side of the highway, and now I'm back trying to add rings to a second hand. This is very, very cool. I appreciate it. It's been a long couple weeks, Jim. I'm a huge Big Papi fan, I got to tell you, because David Ortiz, he's literally the one jersey that I own. So it's been a rough couple weeks. The shooting totally messed me up. And I come to find out it was a case of mistaken identity. So naturally, the first thought that I have is what beef could Esther Roll have possibly had with the Dominican drug cartel? Kids, trust me, look her up. Esther Roll looks exactly like Big Papi. Also, FYI to the Dominican drug lords, Esther Roll is already dead. She's been dead 20 years. Stand down. I've got 2 columns on my tweet deck going right now, Jim. Hashtag SmackOff and @TheRealOJ32. Jim, I know you had to have talked about OJ's Twitter account, I'm sure. OJ is now out here on Twitter giving out fantasy advice. Hey, Oj, I'm sure the players you're tagging in the tweets love getting buried in a bunch of murder jokes and dagger emojis in their mentions. Dude, nobody cares about your fantasy rankings. Stick to the stuff you do know. Searching for the real killers at the 19th hole, botched robberies, treating your enemies like you're a waiter at a Brazilian steakhouse. Stick with that. You see OJ working, Jim. He's just trying to pretend that the last 25 years never happened, like he can just walk back into society. Hey, Twitter world. Jim, let the record reflect I am not OJ. Until last year, I was gone for a decade from the SmackOff, and I know I can't just waltz back into the SmackOff. I admit for a decade I was basically the uncle on meth at the Jungle Barbecue that nobody wanted to mention. I was doing rogue SmackOffs. I was on Twitter declaring the event dead after Chael Sonnen won it twice. Things I'm not particularly proud of. So whack away, clones. Nobody thinks it's dumber than I do. Also, yes, I know. I am bald, I am fat, and you're all wondering how much I'm paying my fiance. I get it. Go ahead. You see, you guys can Google my ass and find material for days. That's the advantage you guys have on me, an advantage that you will undoubtedly fumble away the same way all of you not named Brad have for the last decade. Try Googling Mike in Indy. You know how many Mikes there are in Indy? You Google Mike in Indy, all you get is a sea of images of old men with their Peyton Manning jerseys tucked into their dad jeans. Try Googling Mark in Boston. All you get are Craigslist links for a bunch of guys nicknamed Sully selling printer cartridges out of the back of their Buick LeSabre in Southie. Even Brad and Corona, the famous Brad and Corona. You Google Brad and Corona, and your browser turns into a Money in the Bank match of douchey UC Riverside frat boys named Brad. And let the record reflect, I think Brad is hilarious. Hell, Brad, you got 4 of these things. We shouldn't be adversaries. We should be forming a small council of smack where you, me, and I Afraidy just sit high atop the Red Keep, looking down and laughing at all the other callers, throwing poop at each other in the streets like it's King's Landing. By the way, you losers complaining about the final seasons of Game of Thrones, the ones who are like, and the timeline wasn't realistic for Dany to ride Drogon from Dragonstone to the north. She's riding a freaking dragon. And the least realistic thing to you losers is the timeline? Okay, Jim, in closing, some may see me calling as a nostalgia act. I've been gone a long time. I understand it. I'm not out here like some guys are calling in and doing one-man plays or reconstructing Mamma Mia or riding on the back of a dolphin, whatever these guys do nowadays. I pick up the phone, I call, I win more than anybody because I am the best at this. Always have been, always will be. Even after Brad or somebody else super kicks me in the mouth to win their 6, I am the best. Jim, in homage to truly terrible ideas, I actually did the first half of this call in Tampa Bay, and I'm finishing it up right now in Montreal. So allow me to say, au revoir, soutenir dans la boîte. Merci pour l'invitation. On se parle plus tard dans 2 heures quand j'accepte $5,000. Sous ça, les clones.
Hell yeah. All hail the champ. The Cablinasian, like he always has. Just just like he ever was, always making it look easy. The Cablinasian, Shawnee, back for the first time in 12 years, the 5-time champ. Nobody's ever won 5 of these things. Brad's got 4. He's trying to run him down. Nice job, Shawnee. Good to have you back. All right, rolling through hour number 1. Let's keep moving. This guy's a golden ticket winner from this year. A guy who made his mark in the jungle with possibly the greatest first call of all time. I'm not going to lie. I'm very intrigued to hear what this guy has to say on the biggest stage, on the biggest day. Let's get to Southfield. Jeff in Southfield. Jeff, what's up?
Thanks for the vine, Jim. Hey, Cleveland Browns fan, Detroit Lions fan here. When you went 0-16, you took our title as the NFL's laughing stock. In a strong move to get it back, we hired Matt Patricia. Hey, Matt, it doesn't take a degree in rocket science to know for those shirts by Untuck It to work, you have to button them. Meanwhile, how did you respond, Cleveland? By making a series of great moves and becoming America's team. That's no way to bottom us, Cleveland. You lost your losing focus and you choked, Cleveland. Face it, Cleveland, the Browns might be the guy who couldn't get laid in high school or in college, but the Lions are the guy who couldn't get laid in a porno. Hey, Cal, you can think Las Vegas is classy and glamorous. I think Las Vegas is what happens when that place Robert Kraft went to puts blackjack tables in its lobby. Hey, Cal, it's time you admitted casinos are not where supermodels go to hook up with men who look and dress like James Bond. Casinos are where prostitutes go to hook up with dudes who make Matt Patricia look dapper. Hey, Cal, instead of going all in on being a drunk clown, ante up on having some character, kid. Hey, Jeff in Richmond, just because your local restaurants let you take longer than an Adam Hawk marathon to phone in your daily carryout order doesn't mean we're going to let you rest your phone on your shoulder. Hey, Jeff, I believe you can afford luxury sleds and Armani suits when I see some evidence that you can afford Bluetooth. Hey, Jeff, the only 10-acre estate I'm seeing is your ass. Hey, Jim, Mike in India is so full of himself, he thinks the reason why this is the last SmackOff is because next year you'll be renaming it the Mike and Indy Classic. Jim, sources have confirmed Brad and Corona is taking a dive. It seems Brad's obsession with personal appearance has gotten him into deep debt from the purchase of personal grooming products. His debt is so deep, he needs to mortgage his house. But unfortunately for Brad, he lives in Corona, so his house is worth less than the grooming products within it. Fortunately for Brad, he is favored so heavily over the field that if he bets the field, he can make millions, which would almost pay off his grooming-related debt. Jim, I'm in agreement with Jules from Pulp Fiction when it comes to Caleb in Green Bay. I wouldn't go so far as to call my man fat. I mean, my man's got a weight problem, but what do you expect? My man's Wisconsin-Moan. And Caleb has a great excuse for living with his parents. He lives in that complete cultural void known as Green Bay. There's not a damn thing to do outside of his parents' house. Everyone who lives in Green Bay should live with their parents so they can save money to afford the drugs they need to cope with living in that boring, frozen hell. And I don't want to hear how Green Bay is like a college town. How is Green Bay like a college town? Let's see. You've replaced the cap and gown with a cheese hat and snow parka. You've replaced professors with plant managers. You've replaced students with plant workers. And you've replaced classrooms and books with break rooms and porno mag. The only way that's like a college town is if we're talking about Ohio State. Boom. Hey, Jim Harbaugh. See how I just crushed Ohio State? Why can't you? Speaking of colleges, props to Jake on his acceptance to Wisconsin. Now that the matter is settled, I can express my disdain for Arizona State. Jake, I know Arizona State was your fallback school, but bro, that's not a fallback school. That's a you fallen and can't get up school. That degree should come with a Life Alert necklace. You would be taken more seriously with a degree from the University of Spring Break. You'd get a better job with a degree from Fake DeVry. And in the most damning statement imaginable, Jake, in the middle of Arizona State's campus is a statue of Adam Hawk that reads, "One day, we'll all be working for this guy." And finally, Jim, am I the only one who pictures Lethan Laguna being Willy Wonka's kid and he spends his days riding chocolate roller coasters and playing with genuine Oompa Loompas? Well, they're all genuine except two. The fatter, bolder one is Jay Moore, and the one wearing lifts to be tall enough is Mark in Hollywood. Makes sense if you follow their career trajectory. Hey, Lef, I won't ever hassle celebrities for cameos like some annoying pest because I respect myself. And Lef, when you're so insanely blind to boundaries that you force Jim to build a new secret location studio, that's when you deserve to be called a selfish idiot. Furthermore, oh my God, Jim, Arthur Fontarelli just came through my door and he's grabbing my phone. Hey, Jeff, did get a second date with Pinky Tuscadero, and the bed I took her to was in the spare bedroom of Mr. and Mrs. Cunningham's house, where I scored. Eee! And the reason I lived there is because I was also scoring with Mrs. C. Eee! And the reason I hung with teenagers at Arnold's isn't because I'm some creepy loser. It's because I like to help the young people work through their problems so they can become strong and healthy adults. So sit on it, Jeff. Hey! Damn, Fonz, I'd say you showed me, but you blew it with that help the young people become strong, healthy adults crap. If that's true, then what the hell happened to Chachi, Fonz? Hey, Fonz, have you seen the show Scott Baio is 45 and not married and a completely unimpressive clown? Hey! That'll wrap it, Jim. I'm going to hang up my phone, go to that Canadian health food store known as Tim Hortons because I want my donuts. I don't care if you have to fly.
Hey! Man, he's got that plane down barely, didn't he? Barely. Alvin was about to smash that hammer, but like all the gray ones, he had a sense, right? Listen, that's hour number 1. That's already done. Hour number 3 is a short hour because we have to announce the winner and then interview the winner. In other words, you're already running out of time. This is why I hit it so hard at the very top. Get in early. Get in early. All right, so hour number 1, we had DA coming hard, going in on Matt. We had Jay Stu doing Jay Stu things. Tyler in Shredmonton got run. The Cablinasian with his first appearance in 12 years showed up huge. And Jeff in Southfield just did get in. Just did get in. Hour number 2 of the Silver SmackOff. Make sure if you're on Twitter or on Instagram, hashtag everything SmackOff. Hashtag SmackOff. That simple. Hashtag